Yeah, preparing to live stream the meeting. Springzeal is requesting to record.
Para nakikopy.
Good afternoon, everyone from the Philippines. Those who are watching us from our city, Dumaguete City, good afternoon. For those who are watching us from the UK, good morning. And for those who are watching us from the Middle East, it's midday there. So still, I would say good morning. Apologies for the delay for this afternoon's live stream. We are facing some technical issues, but thank you for staying with us and for tuning in. So once again, I would like to welcome everyone and welcome back to Growthinity's live stream interview series. This is our third episode, and we're excited to continue sparking conversations that inspire growth personally, professionally, and globally. At Growthinity, we believe that leadership is not just about having big dreams, but about building them one step at a time. That's why today's session focuses on how you can start small and scale smart, taking local efforts and transforming them into global opportunities. Now, today's topic is local to global. Start small, scale smart. We're honored to be joined by an entrepreneur who has successfully built a digital or virtual solutions business here in the Philippines, serving clients from around the world. Springzeal Daniel is a visionary leader, creative force, and an unapologetically driven woman who wears many crowns with grace. As president of Oceanclick Corporation, Chief People Officer of Oceanclick Virtual Solutions Incorporated, and chairperson of Badachi Corporation, she leads with a sharp mind, resilient spirit, and a heart committed to excellence. A passionate builder of brands and culture, she co-founded both Oceanclick Virtual Solutions Incorporated and Badachi Corporation, home to vibrant ventures like Daniel Automotors, Springzeal Cosmetics, and Calavera Resto Pub. Her leadership style is rooted in innovation, intentionality, and bold authenticity, empowering teams, elevating brands, and disrupting industries with heart and hustle. Together, they raised three incredible children, Nathaniel, Velvet, and Sapphire, who inspire her every day to lead with integrity and live with purpose. To her, the best gift parents can give their children is to love each other, and that belief radiates through every role she plays. She balances the pulse of business with the rhythm of family, blending structure and soul, systems and sparkle. Her journey is not just about success, it's about significance. She is proof that a woman can be many things: a founder, a force, a nurturer, a strategist, a spark. And that real leadership starts with purpose, rises with resilience, and always shines. At the heart of it all is her family. She shares life and vision with her husband, Lee Daniel, whose partnership brings strength and synergy to both business and home. So this afternoon, we are privileged to hear from her, share her insights on how you can grow a business from your local community and expand your impact across borders, whether you're starting out or planning your next big move. As always, we'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Drop a comment below and be part of this global conversation. Let's learn, build, and thrive together. So, welcome to our live stream, Miss Springzeal Daniel.
Thank you so much, Don. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. That was a lot, and I really appreciate that. And I'm so happy to be here today and to talk about how we can start from local into global. So thank you once again for inviting me.
Indeed. So let's start the ball rolling. Can you share a bit how you started your business here in the Philippines and what inspired you to venture into digital or virtual solutions?
So this really rose from a need. And it was during the pandemic. that we started almost 5 years ago. As you know, during the pandemic, everything shut down. A lot of industries were closed. The tourism industry, the airplanes, like all of air travel in the travel industry um, was out of business. A lot of industries that had to do with physical contact was out of business. But everything went virtual and the virtual industry started to rise. So I started with several clients, but then they introduced me to more and more clients to the point wherein I couldn't handle it just me by myself and I needed a team. So we decided this was an opportunity. And as a businesswoman, you always have to look for these opportunities. When the opportunity arises, you have to always be there with open hands and open arms to accept these opportunities. But at the same time, it really was a need because locally, a lot of people were losing their jobs, and so we still continue to live, right?
Yes.
So there was a shortage of jobs, but then at the other end, there was an increase in demand for virtual talents. So when that opportunity arose, we kind of like thought, okay, we are here right now and we are in the position to fill this need and also to share this to the community, to open jobs for the people of here in our local community. So we started Oceanclick Virtual Solutions. And it was challenging because when we first started, this was something that wasn't very familiar to the people here. So we had to teach them from scratch so that they would be able to learn the skills necessary to be in this kind of industry, in this kind of business.
That's beautiful. I like what you said earlier. When entrepreneurs often see an opportunity in every challenge. So while many lost their businesses during the pandemic, few saw an opportunity to start something that you haven't done before. So I believe you're one of those entrepreneurs during that time wherein their endeavor thrive. You know, yes, it was tough, and I believe as well because of the pandemic, this hybrid system of a work-life balance as well as online services and digital solutions tripled. Yes, I was also a witness of that. So that's really beautiful. So we understand, right? You had to teach, and
Yeah,
you had to teach the new talents for the type of business that you were starting at that time, starting
yeah.
up. Yeah, but what were some of the early challenges you faced when building your business locally, and how did you overcome them? Because here, especially, it's something new, and you're introducing it to a city such as Dumaguete. So, did you encounter some sort of limiting beliefs, the attitude of people, or is it more on the lack of technical skills to run the business? Please share.
Sure. It wasn't just one challenge, it was a lot of huge challenges. Because when you are pioneering something, when you're introducing something that's unknown to a lot of people at both ends, for the clients, for our specialists, you have to teach them to change minds, right? So it's a change of mindset. For the client side, they're so used to hiring individuals instead of teams, instead of um instead of a community or a group of virtual specialists. This is something that is foreign to them because they're like, okay, I'm just gonna hire one person, one person, one person, instead of hiring a whole team. As for the specialists as well, this is not something you learn in school. School doesn't teach you these things. You at that time you can't go to school to learn how to edit videos. You can't go to school how to learn how to um, become an executive assistant. They don't have that. They don't have those skills. They don't have um, courses wherein they teach how to use the virtual tools that we are using right now. Even Zoom was just starting then. A lot of the virtual software that we're using, from Zoom to StreamYard to Restream to everything. Like, it's so foreign to a lot of people, creating using CRM, using the project management softwares. So we had to create a lot of the modules that we taught our specialist. And in doing so, we had to create like a whole course. And in doing that, this was before AI really got, this year, last year, AI is like where we're heading. But 2022, we don't have that yet. So we had to create everything from scratch. And I realized that we have to create something that hasn't been seen before, because when I started teaching people this, what I can do in 1 hour would take them 8 hours to do. So I realized, okay, there's really a need to create the module. So that was very, very challenging. And for the clients, as I've mentioned, it was also very challenging to teach them this concept of, instead of hiring one executive assistant or one video editor, that it's a team that is going to be handling their account. For
Mm,
them, this kind of solution is only for big enterprises, an
mm.
enterprise who can afford a whole marketing team or like a whole marketing agency. So this was something that isn't familiar to a lot of um, medium-sized enterprises. So when we started introducing it to them, they thought it was going to be expensive. They thought it was going to be, all this. So we had to teach them as well why we are able to provide this kind of service to them at a reasonable rate. So, uh,
Wow, that's
yeah,
great.
a lot of teaching that happened because there was a lot of challenges that we encountered. Yeah.
But listening to you, I see the nurture in you running your business. Just this, listening to you for just a few minutes, it dawned on me that you are really a leader because you build people. A lot would just hire talents and then, okay, this. Okay, I have money, I can invest. I'm gonna hire this person, run my business. But what I see in you is you are really hands on, and through your training, I would say coaching leadership. You coach people, you train them. It would develop loyalty towards you and your company. So I think this is one of the takeaways so far. We haven't even run for 20 minutes, and I'm already learning something from you, Springzeal, that is so beautiful. And that speaks volumes of who you are, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a leader, as a woman leader. So, by the way, for those who are watching, kindly leave a comment on the comment box because this afternoon we are using a different platform. That's why it took us a while to start, to kick off instead of at 2 p.m. We started like 30 minutes after. So please leave your comments on the chat box so we can accommodate your questions in a few minutes. All right. So, as an entrepreneur, all right, so you mentioned that you have these clients, I would say international clients, even before starting Oceanclick.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know what strategies help you attract and retain international clients while operating in the Philippines. Because I understand I have friends from the Middle East, I have friends from India. They're also providing digital solutions, and I understand the competition in the market when we talk about digital solution and maintaining a Filipino brand. In fact, uh, we have Growthinity here as a platform where we help people, we coach them, we mentor them, and really just provide add value to people. But how did you maintain and retain, attract more or additional clients, and retain your existing clients so they don't have to look for another company or another service provider?
It is quite challenging, especially given the fact that I have never been to the US, nor
Okay.
have I ever been to Australia. Although I've been to Europe, but majority of our clients are from the US, but I've never been there. So to be able to maintain that kind of relationship despite not seeing each other, it does take a lot of effort because you have to build trust. You have to build reliability. You have to
Yes.
make sure that you're able to deliver whatever you promise. So that's where, that is accountability, right? And for us to be able to do that, I can't do it alone, obviously. And if it was just me, I can deliver it, but not everything that our client needs, right? My time is limited. As much as I would like to say that I can provide everything that our clients need, I won't be able to do that in time just by myself. But when we first started, when it was just me, I really needed help from my husband. So he is already trained in marketing. He's been in marketing for like over 15 years. So I was like, I need your help. I have some tasks for my clients and I need it to be delivered on time in a timely manner and in the highest quality possible. And these are things that we train our specialists to do. So one of our core values really is commitment to excellence. And for me, excellence really mean that even when no one is watching, when it's just yourself, your heart says, this is my work. This is my job. You take pride in the things that you do because it's yours, even when no one is watching. So for me, that really is commitment to excellence. And this is the type of core value that we really instill in everyone working here in Ocean Click. So our core values, we have five core values. And the first one really is C, commitment to excellence, because we just kind of like created our core values from Ocean Click, the word click, right? So
Mm.
the very first one immediately is commitment to excellence. And without it, I don't think our clients will stay with us. A lot of our clients experience really bad service in terms of their video editors, graphic designers, executive assistants not delivering what they promised, um, and maybe subpar quality. So that's why we make sure that we provide all the support that we can provide to our specialists, from training to resources to subscriptions. And of course, I'm always there to be able to guide them if they have questions. And fortunately, now we have AI, and we are one of another core value is leader in virtual solutions. So we make sure that whenever there is something innovative out there, a new technology, we make sure that we are always in the forefront of that, so that these are things that we can also provide our clients. And with that marriage between our specialists and artificial intelligence, we are able not just to deliver quality, but in a very timely manner. Like now it has sped up our productivity. So these are really the things that helped us retain our client, even if we haven't met them face to face.
That's
Because,
wonderful.
yeah,
I think
because
we
we
can
deliver.
summarize it to customer satisfaction,
Yes,
right? So
definitely.
once the customer is satisfied, and we always go beyond their expectations, they will always come back to us. So I think that is really one of the things perhaps our viewers could learn from. We don't settle for mediocrity, but we always strive for excellence. That's beautiful. Um, and For you as an entrepreneur, and for those who are entrepreneurs that may watch us, if not now, in the near future, or aspiring entrepreneurs, what do you think are the skills or mindsets necessary or essential for us who want to go from local to global? So, especially with the competition that is really the competition globally, it's tough, not only even in terms of digital solutions, but more on the mindset. What
Yeah.
is your advice for these entrepreneurs?
Fear is real. It is very real. And you feel so small when you look at the global stage. Like, what can one person, like, what can one Filipina woman do in the global stage? So the fear is real. But do it scared. Do it scared. It's fine. You can be scared and yet still do it. You know, sometimes it is a superpower to be a little bit delusional when you believe in yourself unapologetically. When you're really, um, even if it's scary, even if you're afraid, you know you have the skills. This is what I always tell myself. Like these people who are in the global stage, they have
Mm.
the same eyes as me, they have the same nose as me, they have the same mouth as me, they have the same two hands as me, they have the same time as me. Like, what's the difference? Why can they do it? Why can't I?
Right.
So if we are the same human beings with the same brain, with the same set of senses, with the same set of time, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Great. Yeah.
So that's really how I think about it. Because,
Wonderful. That's
well,
being daring, right? There was
yeah,
a saying that says, if your dream doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough.
yeah.
Because I've learned this in one of my coaching
Mm.
sessions that there are three levels of dreams. So the first one, level A, is something that you already know. So if you keep on doing the same thing, something that you already know, you're already familiar, it's not even a dream, it's just a routine, you know? And then the second one is just a little bit higher than what you have, meaning when you say a little bit higher, you know how to get there. So when you dream and you know exactly the A to Z to reach your dream, it's not big enough then, because it will not make you think outside the box. It will not make you aspire. It will not push you to uh, accommodate innovative solutions, in just making it happen. But the third level is when it's so big enough that you don't know how to get there. So when it scares you enough, it keeps you awake at night, and sometimes it gives you butterflies in your stomach. What am I gonna do next? So it pushes you. This is the kind of dream that we should be dreaming, and I think you embody that, Springzeal. You don't only preach it, but you embody it in the things that you do. Considering you started this, you launched this business during the pandemic. It's really hats off to you, woman. You're one of a kind, and I'm really looking forward to learning more from you. But anyway, let's move forward to the next question. Yes, how important is digital presence such as website, social media, or online branding when scaling internationally?
It's more than important. It's like a necessity. You need it. You need it. Without it, you won't be able to expand globally. And we are very, very fortunate that we have the technology right now to do that. Before the era of internet, we're not able to reach out to communities, to worlds outside our world. But with our technology right now, we're able to do that, and so easily with just like a snap of your finger, you're talking to someone across the globe. And so you should always use the tools that are there for you to use. So social media presence is extremely important. I mean, it's a necessity, as I've mentioned, because that is where the world is. That is where you're. audiences. That's the global scale. Although a lot of the entrepreneurs, they're scared to go there. They want to keep it local, and so their community online is also local. But because there is a challenge going globally, because you have to understand the culture, their culture, the global culture, or the culture of the the country that you are trying to introduce your services to. So that is a challenge. But if you are determined, you can learn because they have so many things on social media that you can learn. So honestly, half of the time I'm also like just scrolling and looking and watching the news, reading what's the latest in terms of technology and the culture and what's happening politically and economically around the world right now.
That's
It's
beautiful.
very there's a
So
lot of
that
there's a
means you
lot
keep on
going on.
learning. Yeah? When you are an entrepreneur, you
Yeah.
also keep on learning. I like what you said earlier. Those who would like to keep their business local, they may have their online presence, but their community as well is locally.
Yeah.
But if one really wants to expand their business, more than just the branding, they need to understand culture, and we call that cultural intelligence, which is necessary before we penetrate a market. Now, I'm really happy to have you here on our live stream because Growthinity is built in such a way that it fosters global collaboration from different countries to our community here, those who will receive. And for those who are watching us, listening us right now, um, there is more that you will see and witness how we foster socioeconomic impact and even foster um I would say collaboration and continuous learning as we continue our work, okay, and pursue our mission. So thank you so much, Springzeal, for emphasizing on that, because indeed, even if we may have the best product or the best product or the best service, if it's not being distributed properly or strategically, then it does affect your own economic system in your company. So for those who are listening to us, sometimes we are so dependent on referrals from people. Yes, people could refer us, that's good. Our clients could also refer us, that's good. But if we want to scale smarter, then I think this is one of the things we can take into not just take into consideration, but really, as what you said, it's a necessity. It's
Yeah.
not just something that you can or not want, but if you want to go globally, then yeah, that's beautiful. And for those who are watching us, I hope you take those things really, really seriously. Yes, anything that you want to add before we proceed to our next question?
Yeah, well, as you can see, we did start. It was very difficult to penetrate the U.S. market. So a lot of the times they would ask for a portfolio, wherein how can you have a portfolio if you don't have clients yet?
Mm.
So we did start small, just we having to prove ourselves over and over and over again until such time that those clients that we have proven ourselves to started also recommending our services to their acquaintances, to their partners. And so the word of mouth did help, but then affiliate programs also really help as well. So for those who don't know about affiliate programs, if you're able to provide affiliate programs to your clients already, wherein if they recommend your services to their whole community, they also, they get some discounts. They get yeah,
Yeah, so I just want to put this in context because um, our discussion right now is based on your service, right? It's digital solutions. Now,
yeah.
what advice can you give to those companies or entrepreneurs who are selling products, let's say RTW, ready to wear, or maybe food? Like, what is your advice to those entrepreneurs who are providing products rather than service and they want to go global?
then it's really necessary that they have an online presence, because a lot of people have made their millions out of online shops, online stores. And there right now there are so many online stores that you can sign up to. One that is really scaling right now is the TikTok shop. So you have to have a TikTok shop. Um, they first started in Southeast Asia. You know, it was a problem in the US because the the government was about to shut down. But now they have it there as well. So we were like the guinea pigs when it first started, and we proved to them that it is very profitable. So now it's also available in the US. But aside from that, we have Timo, we have Shein, we have Zalora, we have Alibaba, we have
Mm.
just so much, so much. And so you can definitely sell not just to wherever country you're from, but globally. And the right now there is a lot of competition, but we have billions of people in the world. So even if you just get a slice of that market, that's already huge. So you have to think of it that way. Don't be
That's
scared
beautiful.
that,
You
don't be
already answered the question I have in mind before I even uttered it, because we already have these huge online companies, or like, yeah, platforms. We have Alibaba and Amazon, Shein. So how can we make money and attract customers? But I like what you said. There are billions of people, and you just have to think even getting a pie of it. So you need to understand our target audience, right? Target customers or market. Now, what is your advice, or what's your take on these online, I would say pages, I would say, what do you call that, the sales funnel page, where they post on Facebook? And I've tried, I was a victim of it 3 times. And so I promised to myself, I don't want to buy it anymore, because I did try buying something, and the advertisement said it is the Dubai chocolate. And so I ordered, and then unfortunately, what I received was actually fake, and I didn't eat it. I just threw it away. And the second one was clothing. I ordered it. It looks so nice on the advertisement or marketing, and then when I receive it, the quality is so poor. I threw it away again. And so I promised to myself, I'm not gonna buy online again. I have to check the item. I have to see it myself and buy. So, what is your advice? Because we are also experiencing the downside of online shopping.
there's always pros and cons, right? Because there are a lot of opportunistic people out there. So when they see something like this as an opportunity, instead of providing good service, good products, they just see it as an opportunity to scam people. So
Mm.
for 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 buyers, you also have to do your research as well when you're shopping online, and it does help to read the comment section. I don't trust Facebook Marketplace that much when they have their own sites. I did experience that as well because I was like I love to try out a lot of different things. So I did try that out. And even in the more popular online stores, there are still there are still scammers there. So that's why I always make sure to read the comments and to read the reviews and how many stars they have before purchasing. Although there are online stores that really protect their consumers. So when you are opening your own shop in their like for example, Shein,
Mm.
it is quite difficult because they do have a lot of requirements from permits to SECs to all of the documentation that you are a legitimate seller. So for those people wanting to open online stores, you have to prepare all your documents first. It's not like opening an account on Facebook where you're just logging in, creating your own account. So you have to also understand what your government requirements are in opening your own shop, your own online virtual store before applying for an online shop in all these selling platforms because they will be requiring that
Mhm.
from you. So
Great.
that's one thing.
Yeah, but we'll take note on these things. Okay, it's I hope the for those who are viewing us right now, we have 90 views so far, but please feel free to drop your question. We have Sukumar Tapa from Nepal. Thank you, Sukumar, for tuning in. And we have as well, I believe, people from different countries. Don't be shy. Just drop your questions, because we I believe Springzeal will be happy to, more than happy to answer them. Okay.
For
We
sure.
want it to be more interactive. Unfortunately, we're using, sorry, I use the word unfortunately. We're using Zoom this afternoon. That means we will see who are, we will directly see your comments or your questions on our chat box. Sorry, chat box. Yes. Um, Now, currently we have 97 views. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
can see
we don't
their
have more,
comment
we
as
don't have
well.
questions yet. Let's proceed to mine. How do you stay competitive and updated with global trends while running your business locally?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned earlier that half of the time I'm online and just scrolling because I need to
Mhm,
know what the trends are, what the global trends especially that our clients are international. It's so easy to know what the trends are locally, right?
mhm,
But if it's global trends, you have to be very intentional. So I've
mhm,
built my algorithm brick by brick by making sure that if these are trends that I believe my consumers are consuming, then I try to like them. I try to comment on those types of comments. I also try to reshare those types um, of videos or shorts or TikToks so that my algorithm for all my social media platforms are directed towards my audience. So even if you look into my Facebook page, a lot of the people that are there are from the US. And a lot of the feed that I'm seeing are from them as well. So it keeps me up to date as to their political climate, their economic climate. And so that is very important because then it also guides you when when to create promos, when to create campaigns. It also guides you, especially they have days when they have their sales, when it's Thanksgiving, all their holidays as well. So you have to be very mindful of that because for me, the US is a very it's a capitalist country, right? So they have all these days that is dedicated for sales. And if you're not able to join those trends, if you're not able to join Cyber Monday, if you're not able to join Tax Saturday or all of those trends, then you're left behind because they have created these trends so that businesses like virtual solution businesses are able to sell to their clients. So you have to, again, it's really cultural because when we go to our clients from Australia, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different language in itself. Learning the way they even spell they spell words. It's so different
mhm.
from they speak both speak English, but
Accent, the spelling.
the culture is
Yeah,
very different. So again, you have to be mindful of that. And we also have a module for that. We teach our specialists, especially those assigned in the different countries.
that's
Uh,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is something I need to learn, and really, like, as soon as possible. I don't intentionally, how do you call that? set my algorithm where it leads me to the right people who really whom I can add value to. So this afternoon, I think that's something I would change starting today. Yeah, so we know, right, the video reels that will pop up, and even the those who would like to add us as friends or who would follow us are actually based on the videos that we like. So it's funny, speaking of which, because it's kind of ironic when I moved back to the Philippines, how do you call it? I intentionally unfriended my contacts from different countries. The reason being, correct me if I'm wrong, we can only add as much as 5,000 friends, right, on Facebook, right? But
Yes, right.
people can follow us beyond that there is unlimited number for the followers. But in as
Mhm.
far as adding friends is concerned, we only have 5,000. So what
Yeah.
I did, I deleted 3,000 of them. And yeah, I started adding people from my city because I was away for so many years. And so I said, no, I want to understand my city, my
Mhm.
island, what's really in here, we've like I was in Dubai for many years, and it's called a smart city. So people
Yeah.
think they're so differently, very fast thinking, innovative. I'm not saying we are not here, but it has become a culture, there are around 2,000 events per month in that land. So just imagine if you're gonna attend a conference today, tomorrow you will attend, and then tonight there's another one. So we only have 30 days in a month, and just imagine 2,000. How are you going to attend? So um, suffice it to say, what you can build in 10 years, there you can build in 2 to 3 years. That's the
Yeah.
truth. And
Mhm.
so we are here, Growthinity is here to build that community where we support each other, we collaborate, whatever you need. And if we need to be in a platform or be in an event where we can meet these people who can also
Mhm.
help us expand our territory, then let it be, because that's how I grew there in Dubai. And
Mhm.
people are just so supportive. I've how do you call it? I've read this saying that people at the bottom actually always think of competition,
Mhm.
but people at the top think of collaboration. So
Collaborate.
when you go higher, you think of how can we support your business, how can we support your organization, how can we support your advocacy, and then let's help, and then we align things. So I like what you said earlier, being intentional even in your social media, being, adding friends. And it's very, I would say, I'm sorry, this is not only true in our country but also in other, I would say, developing countries. I don't want to use the word third world countries, but most of the video reels are like they create just any content for the sake of following, but there
Yes.
is no content there, it doesn't add value.
It
So
is
I'm even
entertaining.
wondering. Yeah, I said that. Why am I getting this? Probably inadvertently set my algorithm in such a way I am led to this type of videos. But yeah, it's even when I was in another country, when I check videos, it's something that I don't
Account.
really
So
see. It's just not there. So I
to
got
be
used
honest,
to something else, and here I said, what is wrong? What
to
kind
be
of
honest,
content
I have
are
two
we making?
accounts. So I have an account wherein I watch the local trends because for the local businesses that I have to make sure that the local trends will also fit to whatever we are producing for our social media. For
Mm,
automators, for our resto pub, we needed the local trends. So I have an account for that. And
mm.
so I'm up to date with that. But for my own personal account, I make sure that the algorithm is geared towards Oceanclick's clients. So the other one is for my entertainment, the other one is for my education.
That's beautiful.
Can do
That's
that.
beautiful. I like what you said. I hope our viewers this afternoon will take that really into serious consideration, and a change of habit. I would say social media habit. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who feels too small to think about global opportunities?
Yeah, it is quite daunting, as I've mentioned earlier, to think globally when you just started in especially from the city I'm from, right? Like from Dumaguete City. It is a very small city, only about 120,000
Yes.
people population, and a little bit less when the students are gone because it's a university town. Right? So when you're from there, it is really daunting to think, to even imagine that I'm going to go global, that I'll have clients who are business owners from this company, or from, you know, from huge real estate companies in the US. How do you even begin to imagine?
Mm.
Um, but I've always loved traveling, and I've always seen the world as something to be explored.
Beautiful.
And when you think again, I always go back, because one thing I did though that really helped open my eyes when I was still in the university, when I was still taking my degree in mass communications, I was granted, I was invited to Germany to present my uh, this documentary that I've created. So it did open my eyes. I was
Mm.
21 then, and it was an all expense paid trip going there. But then at that first time, I was very culture shocked as a very young, impressionable woman. I felt like, oh my God, I was in Hollywood with all these
Mm.
people that are not the same skin as I am, not the same language as I speak. Uh, but then it also really opened my mind that there's like a world out there. There's a different world with different mindset, with different people. And then when the internet started to really bridge all these people together, I found it that, you know, our humor are the same. Even if the language is different, that's the beauty in going through social media, because you see people from Nepal, you see people from India, you see people from Korea, from Japan, from China, from Saudi Arabia, from Dubai, and yet their humor is the same.
Mm.
There are similarities. And so you see the connection of people. So even if you are from a very small city, you start to dream. You start to dream.
Wonderful.
Connect with these people.
Wonderful.
They get me, I get them. And so it's okay to have this connection. We are really starting to become just one whole globe, right?
We
We're
call it
in,
being a global citizen, you know?
yes, a
Uh,
global citizen.
we are not less patriotic, and if we embrace a global mindset and embrace global citizenship, meaning we have high, because that only means we have acquired, or we have learned to have high emotional intelligence and cultural intelligence. And the fact that the world, we only live once, you know, the world is your stage. So why limit yourself to one local community when you can actually explore? And it will break a lot of mental barriers that have held you from growing and succeeding. So I like when you said, when you were in 21 years old, you went to Germany, it changed your mindset. This was the age when my kids went with me to Dubai. So living there with me and exposing them to a network of I would say like high profile people. Some more often than not, when we go to a room, it's always like United Nations, because whenever there's meeting, there is at least 50 nationalities. So that also opened their minds and said, "Mom, we cannot just stay like this. You know, we have to." We need to explore. And so I challenged them. Yes, we want to explore. We want to go to the world, go there, go out there. Why not bring it also here? Why not encourage these people to bring it here? And so we develop a certain mindset that makes us more, I would say, I wouldn't use the word competitive, but I would use the word more creative, more innovative, more yeah, like more critical. We become more critical thinkers, you know.
Yeah.
And I think this is the mindset that we need to break. the settling for what's norm, what's familiar, what's okay, what's comfortable. Because only when we break these barriers or these boundaries that we see a different us, a different essence of who
That
you
is
are, what you can become. And this is my encouragement to our viewers and even to Growthinity community. We are hosting this live stream. We have people, we have speakers from different countries. It's actually not just for us to go out, but for us to bring these people here and have that mindset. How can we collaborate? So I'm really encouraging those aspiring leaders, aspiring entrepreneurs, those who would like to start something, connect with us. We are here to give you what we've learned, and we can even create a network of empowered individuals, not just women but even men. And it does, you know, how do you call it, when we interact people from different nationalities on a regular basis, it goes beyond reading books, because it's not just information. You will learn the wisdom on how to navigate various personalities and even differences in culture, and you become more tolerant, more respectful, and more, I would say, not just tolerant, not just respectful, but I would say more. It will make you smarter as well in a lot of ways. It will make you smart. What do you think,
different
Spring?
ways, right? It is very true. And this is also the reason why in Oceanclick we have this program wherein we send our agent to a different country. Every year we have a different country. And so it's part of like, instead of giving them, you know, we love celebrating Christmas, right? And companies always have year-end parties, Christmas parties. And so during our Christmas parties, our grand prize for some of our specialists is to a trip to another country because
Wow.
it enables them to experience something else, to break
Beautiful.
that barrier and see a different way of life. And that is what we want for our specialists here in Ocean Click. So if they are a part of Ocean Click, they will always have a chance to go out of the country and experience a different culture and have that moment wherein of clarity that okay, the world is bigger than what it is. Whatever I experienced that first time me traveling out of the country, I want them to experience that as well, to really open their minds. Because I can talk and talk and talk, but unless they're able to experience it themselves, it, it's just talk, right? So
Exactly. I
that's
like that.
that's
People should under experience it. So far, someone drop a comment. Okay. Is it okay? I have one question, but I'll pause that because someone here, Ariel JT. I'm not so sure if this is the Ariel who was my student in science side before. I used to teach in science side. Ariel JT asks, "Hello, ma'am. I'm really motivated to start a sportswear business, but I'm unsure whether to begin with an online platform or a physical storefront.
mm,
Considering my ultimate goal is to expand, which would be the smarter choice to smart with?" Oh, Ariel, thank you for dropping your question. And I know Springzeal will give her advice, but keep on tuning in because we have a network to help you grow as well as an entrepreneur. Yes, I'll throw the ball to you, Spring. Sorry, you are
not the
muted. What
physical.
happened? Okay, please again.
Oh, so can you
I
hear
can,
me now?
yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay, so I was saying because when you start opening your physical store, that's already a lot of overhead expenses, electricity, the rent,
Sorry, Spring. You're breaking up.
hello,
Yeah,
hello,
that's
hello.
okay now. Sorry, we miss you for a few
Okay, I'm
seconds.
gonna try not to move as much, and I hope this is going to be clearer. But I was saying to Ariel that there's a lot of expenses that comes with a physical store. If you don't have your own, if you're going to rent is already one. Another, there's electricity. And then there is water, and then maybe internet. And then if you can't be the person to watch the store all the time, then you'll have to hire somebody else. right? So that's a lot of overhead expenses if you're going to start with a physical store. Whereas if you start with an online store, there's not a lot of overhead expense. So you can use that capital for your product instead, and for shipping, to be able to create marketing campaigns wherein maybe you'll provide free shipping for the first few customers, and maybe give them freebies as well, or maybe market it to influencers wherein you can, instead of paying rent or paying, all those overhead expenses, just use that to send out samples to some people that could really um, give an honest review about your product, or also wear it and showcase it to other people, your target audience. So that would be a better use of your capital instead of opening a physical store.
That's
That can come later.
I like that advice. Ariel's just tune in because we'll be having Springzeal again on the first week of May. So we'll talk more about that. But thank you really for posting your question. I hope that helps. That gives you an idea on how to start your business. Now we have another question. What advice? So we're going over time now. We're supposed to finish in 45 minutes, but I hope the viewers don't mind because I'm just waiting for the questions to
Mm.
appear on the chat box. What advice would you give to startup owners who take on too many stingy clients just to create the appearance of scaling, when in reality their employees are already burnt out and sales are barely covering expenses?
Yeah, stingy clients is probably not the clients you're looking for, but when you are starting and you are trying to make a name for yourself, sometimes there are owners that go that route. But if you know what you're worth, and if you know what your specialists are capable of, then there has to be, you have to set the standard. That would really be my advice. We made that mistake before, accidentally, not on purpose. Definitely not on purpose, but our salesperson at that time accidentally accepted a client wanted to hire three agents, but was only willing to pay like less than peanuts.
Mm.
And so, of course, we had an executive meeting discussing that this should never, ever happen again. And we set a standard to what our sales agents can go. Like, this is it. This is the limit. This is our rate. This is the limit. This is the discount you get. Nothing below that, because we're not about to stress out our specialists for nothing. You know, even if you are still making a name for yourself, it starts by believing in yourself. Because these clients who are stingy, they're just going to be a headache in the long run. They are not your target audience. Again, the world is very wide. If your target market is the US, do you know how many people there are in the US? There are millions, hundreds of millions of people there. And if you say business owners, there are also a lot of business owners there, because they are a country that really thrives on business. So you you're not hitting the right audience if that is what is happening. So it means that you have to make sure that your algorithm is targeting the correct audience, that you have protocols in place as to how much you can go, and you should always protect your specialist as well. Um, Especially when she said burnt out, and that it's not covering expenses. Of course, in the beginning, it is a challenge. It really is. It's I'm not going to lie and say, oh, it's so easy. Just have to have this mindset. You just have to have this and that, and then it'll all be okay. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not. That's why not everyone chooses to take
This
this road.
entrepreneurial
Right?
journey.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
have a question, Spring,
Yes.
in relation to that. Yes. Um, do you believe that and I would say all entrepreneurs experience some loss before they experience success?
I'm not sure about all, although I would probably think that majority, I mean, when I say not all, maybe because they're still starting and they're still about to experience self-loss. For me, for example, I did experience uh lost before where I am now. And it, you know what, it gave me a lot of the lessons, the very difficult lessons that I am, making sure not to repeat again this time. Um, but it's only through these losses and not giving up after these losses that you really experience, or you're more knowledgeable in how to handle things better. So when you start to become an entrepreneur, you have to be ready. That's why it's people are scared to start. That's why it is a scary thing to do.
Yes.
But at the other side, if you're contented, then I guess that's okay. But, you know, if you want to scale up, if you want to global, if you are that ambitious, it is scary, but then just do it scared, because there is a huge risk that you might fail. But then when you fail, it only becomes a failure if you learn nothing, right? When I failed in my first business, I didn't think of it as failing. I thought of it as just paying my dues,
Mm.
because I didn't take up entrepreneurship. I didn't take up a business course. So it was like, okay, I just paid for the tuition for me to learn all these things on how to run a business. That's how
Yes.
I thought about
I like that. I actually experienced the same. Yeah, it's true. Someone even told me, Vanessa, consider it as a tuition fee,
it.
a practicum, you know. So yeah, I also have my own losses, but that's okay. We just have to continue, and failure is part of success. It's part, no one is perfect, but what's important is you don't give up. And I like what you said, you continue, you press on, and this will develop in you a resilient character or attitude. Then you will not be afraid to face, more challenges, because even as you grow bigger, there will
Mhm.
be new challenges. It's the same. It's just a matter of
Sure,
moving
if
forward.
your
um
audience are familiar with Alex Hermosi, but
yeah, before you answer, I'd like
yeah.
to read. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, this is Ariel Tag. Looking forward to attending the next. Oh, yes, Ariel. He's my student. Thank you,
Okay.
Ariel, for tuning in. Yes, please continue, Spring.
Yeah, Alex Hermosi is one of the most, like, he's a very popular entrepreneur as well on social media. And just recently I saw a video of him talking about his experience, and
Mm.
he just admittedly said he lost his first 15 businesses
Wow.
before he got
15.
to where he is now. 15, not one, not two, not three, not 10, not
15.
15. And yet he continued, and then now he is where he is. A very successful businessman with a
We
very
still
huge
have we still
following.
have a chance. You still have hope, Ariel. You still have hope. You still have
Yes,
chance. So don't worry, it's
definitely.
okay. For as long, I believe, Spring, I believe when you are in the right environment, because as an entrepreneur, you need to have that in you. You need to have the spirit for it. And I believe as well, having the right support system. It could be your spouse, it could be your parents or your sibling or a close friend who truly want to see you succeed. Because more often than not, the people who are closer to us and who appear to be friends are actually not real friends. And whenever you speak or you share your seed of vision and your ideas, they will either snatch it away from you, or they will plant the seed of doubts and this unbelief. It's actually theirs, not yours. So you have to be very careful. So for Ariel, you have to be very careful where you go, where you hang out, where you share your ideas, how you're going to start. Be with the right mentor and the right coach for that. I strongly suggest, because where I am right now, I also become what I've become, or where I've reached this far so far, because of someone, not just one, a few of them who really mentored and coached me.
Most of
So
the time, it's the strangers that would support you. Really, most of the time. I'm just lucky I have my family is not toxic. I haven't really experienced that toxic family kind of culture in the Philippines. I'm so happy that my family is very supportive of the things that I do. They know that I'm very stubborn in the things that I do, and they are 100% behind me. But I also understand that not everyone is as lucky as me. But there are still times that an entrepreneur's journey is a lonely path, really.
yes,
Really, because when there are challenges that you're facing, you're not going to share it to your whole team. You're not going to share it to your whole company. You shoulder it alone, silently, because you're going to protect your people from all of these challenges that you are. So sometimes I would try, for mental health, I would just drive around and just to get that balance again. And that is very important as an entrepreneur, that you have that balance. There are people though that are an exemption. Like I've just saw Mr. Beast discussing that he's the type of entrepreneur and he's huge, right? Beast is
he's a
like the
billionaire.
biggest, yeah, right. And what he said is that um he doesn't take mental health days. He's the type of person that he just goes, he's like very focused in the things that he wants to do. It doesn't matter if it hurts, it doesn't matter if he's scared, if he's like crying, or if he's depressed, or if he's low, it does not matter. He does what he needs to do, and that takes a lot of mental fortitude, and not everyone is built like him. That is why he is who he is, right?
Exactly.
It takes a special type of mental fortitude to become that way. But it's also okay to take mental health days, because
Yes.
that is that is, without it, you cannot build from an empty cup. So
I
uh,
think that answers the last question. How do you personally stay motivated and grounded as your business continues to grow and reach more people? I think you've already answered it. You spend time alone, and I could vouch for that. And I would say, I have developed that habit. When you start something, when you are founding something, it's a lonely journey most of the time. More often than not, you do have to face it on your own and find solutions. But I do take time just to be alone. But my source is, how do you call it, my equalizer is really prayer. I do pray a lot, and I spend time reading the scriptures, and I do worship. That's my way of keeping me sane and grounded and intact, and not to, how do you call it, I'm very careful when I start raising my voice, because that's my barometer. When I start racing, then I know I need to step back and withdraw from people. So yeah, that's it. You are into nature, probably you drive around. That's great. So any last word to our viewers, Spring, for this afternoon? Wow, it has been a long session. Okay, we exceeded
it
1 hour.
did.
Normally we just stay for 45 to 50 minutes. So yeah, any last word to our viewers?
So it's not easy. Entrepreneurship, it's not an easy road to take, but it's something that if you're passionate about it is very rewarding. And there are times when you feel like giving up, but take time, breathe, maybe write it. Writing has also helped me a lot because all the chaos that's in your mind, when you write it out, it slowly it slowly forms into more coherent thought and processes. So it's maybe different people have different ways of clearing out their thoughts. That's mine. But find a way that's yours to be able to clear that mind. And just think of those challenges that whenever you're able to rise above it, you're in the next level. You're one step closer to the final boss.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Spring, for your insights, for your wisdom. Um, that wraps up our third episode of Growthinity's live stream series. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us today. Your energy and eagerness to learn truly make these sessions meaningful. A special thanks once again to our guest speaker, Miss Springzeal Daniel, for generously sharing her journey, strategies, and wisdom on how to grow from local beginnings to global success. Your story is proof that starting small doesn't limit your potential, it prepares you for greater impact. Remember, growth isn't about how fast you move, it's about how smart and steady you build. Keep dreaming, keep building, and keep expanding your reach. We'll see you in our next live stream. And for Springzeal, she will again be on board on the first week of May. Until then, stay grounded, stay bold, and stay growing. Have a pleasant afternoon, everyone. Thank you.